You know, it's that girl Jada Kingdom representing for OurWe TV. Watch it, live it, love it. Boom.
The following program is rated E and is suitable for everyone. Lifestyle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Lifestyle and OurWe TV. You know I'm your boy Starz. It's all about red ties and stilettos weekend, brought to you by Zedoj Events. Right now we're at Riu Ocho Rios and we're gonna check things out. Like I said, it's red ties and stilettos. It's a 3-day event. Tonight's the first night. We kick things off with All White Beach Party. Let's go check it out.
Take one and give everybody one. It's not group work. Everybody has their own work to do. Just come get a paper, please. Everybody just come get a paper. And you're going to share pens. Here's a pen for who wants to write first. And the instructions for this part of the proceedings. Everybody just get a paper. Quickly, get a paper, get a paper. So we're going to do this. You see where the line is on the paper? Just split it, just fold the paper up the line. Believe in your goals, your doubts, your fears, the man, the woman, the people, them man, the people, them woman. You're not going to show anybody. Just write down, if it's one goal, you write down one goal. Davina, if you want to win Miss Universe, write it down for it. In Jesus' name, it's a God again. So Miss World, you didn't enter two in and nearly with the 12. So Miss World, and on the other side, write your goals. Now 2 minutes you're gonna take to that. Music man, I want you to play Eton free. You're gonna do it when I tell you to do it though. Don't play it yet. Tear it up, just tear it up now. Don't connect it to your goal. Rip it, rip it, rip it. Yes! Keep them, don't join them together. Don't join them together. I'm gonna tell you if you write down the goals permanently, you write it with lipstick. Alright! And you're gonna do this as soon as you're ready. All the wickedness, all the only things I worry about, throw it in it. All the superstitions, throw it in the fire. All the experiences. Remember, make sure you don't throw your goals to serve here. Yeah, and that's what you need. Yes, burn it, my friend. Don't bring it down, don't bring it down. Make sure it's all gone. Every doubt, every fear, every malice, every destructive thought you've ever had. Anybody else? Make your way to the fight, big man. You know you live our pants. Dash it away. What do you need? Draw it away. Free your mind. Yes, Davina. Dash them in the fire, Davina. Ari, make sure you get in this moment. Davina is throwing the moment. Davina, dash them in the fire. Who else? Who else? Make sure everybody completed this exercise. And I'm going to do mine when I'm done. But this is very important. Turn on the music. Come on. Fire. Please, just join us. Everybody around the fire. Let's build our energies together. Fire, they can't too cool for around the fire. A shangus the fire. A sizzle the fire. Yeah. Hold somebody's hand. Okay. I'm going to feel the energy. And anybody want to burn up something here, just come do it right now. Alright? Don't move. Let people just join in. Don't move. Just let people join the circle. I don't want anybody behind the circle. I want people in the circle. Because we're going to feel this energy. And we're going to go into the weekend together. Ari, make sure you catch this. Sleep, make sure you catch this. Because this is a powerful moment that we're going to share with the world. Are we holding hands? After 3, Jordan, can you turn on the camera? Because we have cameras here. Can we just... After 3, and I'm going to stop talking. After 3, we're all going to hold hands and shout, RTS Weekend, we are winners. Are we ready? The dead in the business now. You never say 10 times, I say 10 times. 1, 2, 3. RTS Weekend, we are winners! One more time. RTS Weekend, we are winners!
Company, Solid Rock Productions, Visoon Productions, Thinkhead, World Music Views, JR Podcast, Shaz Service Station, White Rose Home Healthcare Agency, New York, Bandu Event Solutions, Bombies, Imagination, MJ's Wedding Amenities and more, Marquee Letters Jamaica, Sharky Seafood, Pro GFX, D Party App, D's Weddings and Rentals, Krishanti Designs, Morgan's Creek, Bombies. All of these sponsors help to make it possible tonight. And then also our media sponsors, RETV, Sleek, Live Fast, AG Productions, Allure Elite, Cinematography, 876 Streets, Raise Productions, and Involve Media. Thank you to all our sponsors that took the time out to extend their kindness to us. All right, so thank you to all the sponsors that extended their kindness to us for the weekend. And we also want to take the time out again for thanking you for coming out early. I know it's a work day and most of you left work to come here. Most of you didn't go to work at all. If you call in sick, just make sure you're not on the camera because I'm going to post it. There are people still on their way from Kingston and Montego Bay. Hopefully they'll get here in time because we're closing off at exactly 10:30. All right, so this is the pre-conference kickoff to something extremely great that will be happening tomorrow. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet for the symposium, come out and listen to the bosses as they tell you how they started from nothing and now they are everything. And when I mean everything, these powerful men and women are doing it big, right? So are we ready for the fashion show?
Lifestyle.
Yes? We're ready for Bamias Designs right now. And Bamias is an online boutique. So if you like the pieces you see tonight, or you want to check out what else is in their collection, you can do that at _BOMIEST Bamias. So let's welcome the first model to the stage from the Bamias collection.
So it's all about Red Tie and Stilettos Weekend Beach Party. I'm out with Keisha. Keisha, what's good?
Everything is great. The party is fantastic, as you can see, stars.
All right, so we're at the beach party. It's the first night. What do you think about RTS Weekend?
I think RTS is one of the best thing ever happened to Centon. You know, this is an event that helps you to thrive, to be the best version of yourself. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
What's in your cup?
There's a lot in my cup, you know, a lot of accomplishments, and I thank Jody for this event because this actually pushes me. I actually put on my vacation just for this event. So
it's all about RTS Weekend. It is the first night of a 3 epic day event. Tonight's the beach party. It's all white. As you can see, we're all decked out. Right now I'm standing with, all right, hold on guys. Mom, car racer, boss lady, wife, boss lady, wife, boss lady again, Jody. It's a pleasure to be here. It's so good to see you. What's good?
thank you. I mean, thank you so much for coming on board Stars with OurWe TV. We really appreciate it, and you know, we're very excited about the weekend.
All right, Jody, let's get to the meat of the matter. RTS Weekend. So far, I've actually had 2 entrepreneurs today ask me how they can get onto your program. I didn't have much to tell them, so tell us, what's the procedure to be a part of this in terms of being on the show as an entrepreneur, and the steps to take to be a better leader and individual?
Well, basically, this is how we're starting now. We're trying to introduce a weekend where people are used to partying, but the key thing about our weekend is you have to want to grow. So follow us on our social media pages, look out for our events, and you have the opportunity to go on our website and also sign up for membership. We actually have a list of members waiting to be approved. I mean, with the planning of this event, it was so hard to go through and accept all of them, but reach out to us. We'll be assigning mentors to help you with the mentorship program.
Okay, cool. So Jody, it is a 3-day event. Give us a quick synopsis from night 1 to Sunday morning.
All right, so night 1 is our welcome all-white beach party to kick off the conference weekend. As you can see here, we had a great session with Donovan Watkins by the bonfire, releasing negative energy for the weekend. And we're moving tomorrow into our symposium with a host of panelists and a keynote speaker that will basically take you through the steps of becoming an entrepreneur or growing within an organization. On Sunday, it's a relaxed session, coffee and CEO, 10 a.m. to 12 noon with Gary Matalon. Wear your relaxed outfits and come walk the talk as a CEO.
All right, so Jody, comparing last year to this year, would you have done anything different? What are the difference between last year and this year?
Well, we did a whole lot of things different. Last year it was a 1-day event, which is a symposium, and that's our main event. But this year we bumped it up to 3 days. So welcome party on night 1, night 2 symposium. Our headline artist is iOctane, and then Gary Matalon on day 2 finishes it off.
Okay, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but for next year RTS weekend, Give us a little sneak peek, you know? What can we expect?
Ah, boy, that's a tough one. We wanted to stick with doing weekend like we have it now. I didn't want to do it this year, and I ended up doing it. It has been pitched out to say, let's go on an RTS cruise. So who knows? It just may be that.
Before I go, Jody, I always have to talk about your ensemble. You are looking quite the part tonight. I know it's a beach party, but you're actually elegantly dressed tonight. Who are you wearing?
Actually, I'm wearing 2020 collection.
You look amazing. We wish you all the best for RTS Weekend. Thank you so much for making us being a part of it. We're looking forward to the future ones.
Thank you, Stars. OurWe TV.
One of the presenters for the fashion show segment. Krishanti, welcome to OurWe TV. What's good?
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about RTS Weekend. What is your take on the entire night so far?
It has been wonderful thus far. You know, I like the environment and I love what they're promoting so far. You know, the whole business idea. And I meet a lot of real cool people so far.
Let's talk about your line. What inspired you?
Well, what really inspired me is that I've been getting a lot of requests for bridesmaid dresses and swimsuits. So I said, why not let them have everything in one place? Wedding dresses, swimsuits, bridesmaid dresses, maid of honor, flower girl, all things female. So that inspired me to create the line Krishanti I Do.
Where can persons find Krishanti's stuff?
I am relocating to James Avenue, Ocho Rios, 7th Avenue Plaza upstairs on Monday. And I'm on Instagram, Krishanti, KHRISHANTII. And the other page is Krishanti I Do.
Krishanti, all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Man himself, boss man, AG, aka All the Green. All the Green, it's all about RTS Weekend. What is your take?
You know, it's a great weekend, you know, especially for self-employed people, you know. So it gives them a chance to learn about business, etc. You know, couple of things. It's a good weekend because I was on it last year, you know. So you know, and I learned so much from other business people and stuff. So I think it's a great weekend to attend, you know.
If you could say one thing to persons who want to venture into the entrepreneurship, what advice would you have to say to them?
I would tell them to take risk, no matter what the risk is, and risk is the number one thing that they should take in entrepreneur, you know, and dedication and all your time, you know, you have to put all your time in it.
Lifestyle.
So it's all about RTS Weekend. This is night one of a 3-day event. It's all about the welcome party on the beach right here at Riu Ocho Rios. Tomorrow night we move towards the symposium, and then Sunday we close things off with breakfast and CEOs. So until Sunday morning, I'm your boy Stars. Remember, OurWe TV, RTS Weekend. Watch it, live it, love it.
This is Jody and Murdoch, and we're at RTS Weekend on OurWe TV. Guys, watch it, live it, love it.
Whether it is dealing with the external, you know, the statutory agencies or dealing with the financial institutions or whatever it is that you're running into challenges with in business, just know that that's normal. Like literally you have to kind of get your head around it. If you're not ready to go through the blood, sweat and tears to make it happen, the best option is probably to go and seek employment with somebody else who's willing to go through that, because there is no easy way to do it. And because I ended up on TV with innovators and I've tried to help business people along my journey, people think I might have all the answers. There are no answers. There is no silver bullet solution to how you make it work. I think one of the best things that I can suggest and that helped me a lot is really networking and talking to other people, because I guarantee you a lot of you in this room could share a lot of your own experiences with me that would so help me in my day-to-day going forward. You understand what I mean? So same way that I'm hoping that some of my experience will help other people. It's how it works. You really just kind of have to talk to people, come out of your shell, reach out. I mean, I'm having phone conversations with people now because of some of the stuff that I'm doing in business. And those people I even should read about them in the newspaper. You know what I mean? It's not people I know, it's not people that I'm friends with or that I grow with. You know, they're very successful business people, way smarter than me, have way more resources than me. They're doing great things. You know, they control a lot of business, private sector in Jamaica, and they pick up the phone and calling me. That's where, you know what I mean? And it's really just a matter of, I think, putting yourself out there, networking, just, I mean, hit it hard. There's no other way around it.
Exactly. All right, so you can get ready to ask the questions. If you do have any questions, please signal to us. We will take them at any point in time. But Gary, you have now franchised. How many locations now do you have now for using both Tracks and Records?
So Tracks and Records, we're opening our 4th location. The first one outside of Jamaica opens on the 10th of October to the public.
Okay.
So next week. 10 days.
Wow. Okay.
So that's a really big deal for us. So you may mention about that journey.
Mm-hmm.
That journey in particular is the most recent and probably the one that I would say is a product of everything that happened before that. You know, the concept for a Jamaican themed casual dining restaurant that we could package and standardize and export to all these places all over the world. At 30, a little bit sounds a bit crazy, yeah? And worse, when you're done, you go to everyone. So, it's, yeah, you know, say, how are we going to go there and compete with these massive multinational organizations like Yum Restaurants and Garden Group, and they have billions of dollars worth of resources. They create concepts at will and go there, and they have so much money to throw behind it, and we're going to come there as like this crazy kid from Jamaica. You know, just how are we even going to take them on? We don't have the financial resources they have. We don't have the expertise they have. We have nothing that they have. And then it just was so clear. You know, when you pose the challenge like that, it sounds ridiculous. It's not even realistic. And then you think it's actually quite simple, because we're Jamaican. And no matter what they have, they don't have that. Right? And that's ultimately it. I mean, in a nutshell. So of course, we reached out to Usain Bolt, who at the time had set the world record and had won the Olympics, and he did the Beijing Berlin thing, and then but nowhere near the legendary status that he is now. Talked to him, we talked to Sean Paul, we talked to Shaggy, we talked to Chris Gale, we talked to a bunch of people. And everybody was saying, yeah, well, let's come together. And that was my idea was to share some equity with them, raise some financing, and go there and use them to help to get people's attention, which we couldn't do the traditional way or the conventional way, which is really to have money to create that awareness. I was going to use the as much of their popularity as possible. And it was Usain's team that came back and said, why, as much as we love it, we love to do it alone rather than with the whole group. So we really had a decision to make at that point in time. And him being kind of at the top of the food chain, where he was, we felt he was young, we felt he was cool. He had not just the athletic side, but he had the whole personality side and the lifestyle and the vibe and the party. And we just thought that it was a gamble, of course, but we thought let's go with it. And so hence Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records. But it has created as much challenge for us as it has created benefit, because, you know, when we went to the banks to raise money, sitting down in front of the bankers, they give us stacks and stacks of forms to fill out, all these different documents and return. We take literally weeks and weeks and weeks worth of application process, and then at the end of the day, get rejected. The loan gets rejected because you're saying it's too big a risk. He's too young, so when sleep with an underage nurse, when twist him ankles, so I've heard it all. So I got rejected by one of the biggest banks in Jamaica. I went to the second biggest bank in Jamaica and said to them, you know, these people took me through a 4-month application process and they rejected me. Don't do me that. If you're not going to give it, just tell them front and they came back in a week and said, well, we're sorry, it's too risky. So I got rejected twice. I literally was going to go and try and raise it privately after that. And that means basically going on and taking anybody that look like them have a lot of money. But fortunately I didn't have to do that, because the third bank I went to at the time was Plan Caribbean, and didn't know anybody in there. Got introduction to somebody, went there, stated my case, and before you blink, in 30 days, I was able to borrow the money from the bank that I needed, and that was a game changer for me. It was almost like it was surreal, because when the money hit the account, I still couldn't believe that. And I actually called the person who I was speaking to, and I said, I have to ask you, why did you give me the money? Because nobody else would give me the money. Like, I have money in the account, now I can ask the question, why did you give me? He said to me, he said, you know, I'm glad you asked the question. He says, because we don't invest in businesses, we invest in people. And he said, when you sat in front of me and you explained to me what you wanted to do, and I saw the passion, and I understood the work that you were putting into it, I knew my money was safe. And it was at that point, there's no pressure, but it was at that point that I understood very clearly, and the truth of the matter is, his money was safe, because I would have dead before I got paying back his body. I would have to try to find a way. So I think that's also part of what helped me go through some of the lowest lows, which came shortly thereafter. Because of course, when we got Tractor Records up and running, we were having a lot of success. Fiction was still very profitable. Now we had Tractor Records dumping cash on us, and we moved on to other things. We started a gaming lounge, and we started a second nightclub. So now we went through this period of hyper growth, and that was great, because you know, you feel like you're unstoppable. You know, just going. Of course, what was happening was, as we were building other avenues, other business lines, the revenue was actually going in the other direction. The economy was taking a turn for the worse. Only in Cash Plus, all those guys blew up, right? And what ended up happening now is that we've built up this massive overhead, and not the revenue to support it. So very quickly went from being profitable to being in a loss-making situation. And when your burn rates or your expenses on a consistent basis are growing and are high, and they're not easy to just reduce with the reduction in revenue, what quickly happens is you start accumulating a lot of losses. And I'll never forget it, we went from being profitable to losing 12 million one year, then we lost 24 million the next year, then we lost 60 million the next year. Before you know it, my balance sheet is negative 20 million equity, and we're essentially bankrupt. I mean, the company was done, literally. I had a lot of money out on the road. Creditors could have closed me down at any point in time. And I think what saved me through that was, one, I knew that if it folded, all of these people that had faith in me and that had trusted in me, including the bank who had lent me a lot of money, would have really gotten burned. I had a lot of staff that was dependent on the salary that they were getting at the end of every week or every month. But I can tell you, it's probably other than maybe a death in the family, it's probably the worst feeling a person can ever endure. To have to go to bed every night and wake up every morning and there's nothing else on your mind other than this situation that you're now in. And I went through that probably for the better part of a year and a half, almost 2 years, lived that. And of course, as the CEO of the company, and at that point now you're a publicly traded company, right? So your business is everybody's business. So of course, I went through enough mornings when I reached my breakfast table and opened the paper. There's my face big and bold, with all these horrible headlines about losses and everything else. And I never really traded for anything because I have to embrace that period of time. The failures that we endure, but I didn't really call them failures because the truth of the matter is going through that period has really kind of set the stage and prepared us for, or prepared me for kind of anything else that's to come in the future.
I'm sorry that you had to speak so long, but I don't know how you guys escape it because I think everybody wanted to hear the story, right? so I know you said interactive, yes, but like we want to know, okay, Gary, what's your story, sir? Like, how did it all come together? Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us because I know it must have offered a lot of perspective for us here in the audience and listening, so I know you must have questions. So, any questions? Yes, of course. 1, 2. Someone at the back. 3, 4. All right. So let's. All right. And so okay. So let's start right here. You both are going to ask it together. No. Okay.
Morning, everybody.
All right.
Gary, my question, because I know that you franchise out a business, and the goal of any business is to grow as big as possible, and globally is the best way to do business at some point or another. Why the UK as opposed to Jamaica is a brand that's loved everywhere? Why not New York? Why not Miami?
Good question. So we chose franchising as the model for growth simply because we could go to Miami and open a tractor record. We could raise the money, we could go there, build it, operate it, and take 100% of the the benefit from it. We opted not to do that simply because we know that from market to market things change significantly. And we're not experts in all of the markets around the world. In fact, I tell you what, from Kingston to Mobile and from Kingston to Ochi, the markets change considerably. So you can imagine going to another foreign market and being like, yeah, I'm going to come in here and drop my restaurant right there and compete with everybody else who has all the local knowledge and what. No, that doesn't make sense, right? So franchising is one of the great benefits of the franchising model is that it allows you to tap into local knowledge. Yeah. The other thing is it allows you to use somebody else's money. Yeah? So it's not necessarily you having to come up with a couple $1 million to build all of this investment. Somebody else is doing it. But the only way you're going to get somebody else to do it is if you have a concept that's strong, that can stand up. And so that was really our focus, to create this concept, standardize it, document it, get it into a position that we can turn around now and export it. So having told you all of that now, to answer your question specifically, the next big challenge you have when you're going into franchising or any type of business that requires you to quote-unquote partner with other people is the biggest challenge you're going to have is to find the right partners. And a lot of what has driven the move to London, all right, so what we did was we looked at globally, we said, these are some target markets. This is where we would like to go. London happens to be one of those markets. So in the US, we'll look at South Florida, we look at New York, we look at Atlanta. Even out on the West Coast, we think California could be very good based on the research that we've done. We also think about like places in Africa, we think about places in the Far East, yeah? But we look at that and we have to think, all right, for us to be successful, we need to be able to support the franchisee. We need to be able to be there with them because a partnership. You're not really just selling them your logo and then go to town. You work together to build it, although it's their money and although they're driving it, you have to guide it. Correct. And what how we ended up in London before, say, South Florida, is simply because we found the right partners in that market. Our partners there were super fortunate. They have over 120 restaurants, so local knowledge is not a problem. Financial resources is not an issue. They have to be great people and easy to work with, and they understand franchising because they own other franchise concepts. So it's a no-brainer, but I'm pretty far down the road with some of the other markets that we just talked about. And I would say the partner is probably the most important thing, because if you get in a situation with the wrong person, it's a wrap. And my people in my organization will tell you, I sound like a broken record, but the only way we're successful is if the franchisee is very successful. A very successful franchisee makes for a successful franchisee. It doesn't work the other way. If they're not successful, it doesn't exist. It's a wrap. They cannot sustain it, and we are going to get no benefit from it. In fact, we're going to be in trouble because it's going to damage our brand. The same way it's all glorious when you're opening in London. I mean, this is uncharted territory for me. I'm heading over there now, basically. And we're going to open in a week, and I don't know if it's going to work. You know, it's a bit like literally, I feel very confident it will. I am excited beyond belief, but it's extremely difficult, extremely difficult. So we're going to go and we're going to put our all into it, and we're hoping to open this one and move straight on to the next one beyond that, and start to get the economies of scale. But yeah, London's a good market. It's tough though, because the other thing is, I have interest right now in Australia, and I have interest in Japan. Those places ain't close, and it's not cheap to get there. So, whatever you want.
Yeah. All right, so the other question, we had another one here, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, question. How do you separate the CEO emotions from the personal emotions when it comes to staffing?
When it comes to staffing?
Yeah, when it comes to staffing.
It's a good question. All right, but so you know what I'm going to use to answer that question? I'm going to use my previous experience working in my family's business. I think one of the issues that family business have globally, a family business on a whole has the issue of the fact that they're called family business. Look, there's no such thing. A business is a business. Okay? So if you're not prepared to operate it like a business and make decisions that are in the best interest of the business, God help you, because you cannot let, you know what I mean? I mean, and I say that within reason because obviously you're not going to make a business decision that is going to have a horrible implication for something else or for somebody else. Yeah, there's a line to draw there. But as far as operating the business and as far as making decisions for the business, you have to do it with the business in mind. It cannot be a situation where you say, "Hi, yeah, they're my friend." But she's not doing no work. She come in there every day and she's on Instagram from morning till night. It can't work if you're not prepared to make the decision in the best interest of the business. So I know you. Yeah.
All right, so that question there in the middle.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm asking this question on behalf of my partner who's afraid to ask. So where? Oh, he's a pharmacy owner. He operates True Life Family Pharmacy in Alexandria, St. Anne. When he went to the location, there was no pharmacy. On tier 2, boom, 2 new pharmacy come upon it. So he's a bit derailed and starts to like the competitions. And so I would like to know, how can he navigate around that, and what can he do to continue in operating his pharmacy?
Great question. Well, first things first, you need a partner like that who will jump up and get you back when you need it. But it's a good question, but here what's up now. The fact that these other guys have now popped up in the mix, I think is testament to some of what you're doing. Yeah? In that sense, if you weren't kind of there making some kind of move in that area, I don't know that they necessarily would have wanted to either. You know, sometimes you go in a direction, you launch up, and I mean, perfect example was when we built the nightclub in 2008. I mean, on any given night, there were people that couldn't get in, were at capacity. It was clear that some money was being made, and then all of a sudden, now, every time they can hurry just start build nightclub, and there was like about 5 new entrants within the first 12 months. I guess the answer to your question on how you beat that, you cannot stop them. They're coming, and the more success you have, is the more they're going to come. Yeah. I think the key is to be 10 steps ahead of them. You have an advantage. You're in the market before them. You're in the business before them. Some of them may be in the business elsewhere and they're just expanding into your location. But that first mover advantage, you need to use it. Use it up. That's your trump card right there. That's your goal. That's your biggest asset. Because what that does is allows you to be in front of them, to be better than them. And once you're doing that, you're going to be, I mean, your customers are, and when I say be better than them, not in your opinion. I mean, be better than them in everyone's opinion. Yeah? And that's very important because sometimes we like to fool ourselves, or we like to say, you know, I taste something at the restaurant and that's the wickedest thing I've ever eaten before. Everybody's like, no, it's not. You know what I mean? It's just not going to work. I can't think that all I want. It's not going to work. So, I guess you use that first mover advantage. You're there first. You're in the business first. Be innovative. Think, all right, these guys are coming in. They're kind of doing exactly what I'm doing. How am I going to change the game? And then when you do it, and it's successful, they're going to follow right behind you too. So you have to be ready on the next one again.
Oh, thank you. Love that. Any other questions? Yes, we have one here at the back. Anybody else in the meantime? Let me see your hand. Oh, right here. All right, good.
Okay. So, oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we tend to employ a lot of people, but they don't see our vision. How we get them to see the vision when we employ them, right? Because what a lot of people say to me that it's not my business, so you can do what you want to do. But what I tend to tell them is that they're playing a vital role in terms of the growth of the business. So how you try it, how you not to convince, because not everybody's going to understand the vision. So you don't want to convince them to understand it. How you give it like the chopping block, where you chop them to to remove them immediately before they can be business.
Gary said he knows what you're talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me tell you why I said. So that's a big challenge, but you know what? That's ultimately going to be obviously the more you get involved with recruitment, is the better you're going to get. You're going to start being able to size up who has the right attributes that you're looking for the job. More important than anything else, probably is going to be attitude. And the better you get at recognizing that, and the better you get at bringing the right people in the organizations, the less issue you're going to have. Because the objective is not how do I chop people, the objective is how do I get people that I know how to chop. Yeah? So I think that with the team that you do engage, that team needs to be led by the person driving the organization needs to lead from the front and needs to ensure at all times that you're trying to filter down that vision and that mission and that whole objective of the business. And you're not always going to be successful. I mean, I've had people in the earlier days that, and of course at the beginning of this thing, we were doing a lot on a shoestring budget, so we didn't have, couldn't pay an exec chef what Sanders can pay an exec chef. Can't do it. It's one restaurant. just the economics of it aren't there. So, you know, a lot of it was trying to get people to buy into the vision, say, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And, you know, you're not always going to be successful, but you want to, as I said, try and get the right people with the right attitude and get them to buy into the vision. Having said all of that, you're going to get people inside the business that just, for one reason or the other, they're wrong. And my advice to you in that instance is, as quickly as you possibly can, separate yourself from those people, because they, you know, a lot of times, and I'm super guilty of this, and it's something that I'm still working on to this day, you kind of hang on to somebody you know is wrong, but you hang on to them because you think if they're gone, I'm dead. You know, like the business can't continue. It's not true. Like literally, the business will survive if they go. And what them going is going to force you to do is to find that replacement. I mean, I've had situations where a financial controller right before year end, before we have to do all our stock exchange reports and everything, you know, is leaving. You know, tenders resignation, and I'm like, and this is somebody I've wanted to fire for probably a year, but I can't do without them. But guess what? No, I didn't have the chance to fire them because they're gone and left. Well, them tendering resignation turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to the business, because immediately thereafter, it made way for somebody else to come in. And you know who came in? That went and found a better financial controller. There was somebody working there already in the organization that turned out for the next 4 years to be just the greatest person.
And so have you ever had that challenge before, and how do you grow past that? What encouragement would you give for us to become more emotionally intelligent, so to speak? And then to add my part to that is, how important is reading books like Think and Grow Rich and The Magic of Thinking in your entrepreneurial journey and becoming more emotionally tough?
Two great questions. So I kind of go back to the question that was asked earlier about the emotion with regards to your team members or your employees. I think that being too emotionally attached to a business it can be detrimental, and I think you need to operate the business within the best interest of the business. If the business reaches to a stage where it needs to change course, or you know, just for whatever reason it has kind of nowhere going, you know, I don't know what the circumstances would be, but I think ultimately the decisions need to be made with the health of the business in mind, primarily, first and foremost, above everything else. I have never personally been in a situation where I've been faced to make a decision, I don't think, that was influenced based off of emotion for a business, or maybe I have and just don't even know, but I mean, to be truthful, I always try to look at it as objectively as possible and make the decision that I think is going to give the best, put the business in the best position for success. So yeah, I try to keep emotion out of it as much as possible. And of course, I'm very emotionally charged where my businesses are concerned, but at the end of the day, I know that if the best thing for the business is to go this route, whatever that may mean, then that's what I need to do. And even if that means closing the door, then that's what it means.
Really?
I think.
Really? So terrible. I am what you would call a micro producer. I have a brand, a product. We are in development phase 1. Just last week, I was able to come up with a name, finally, that I like tears come up my eye, because yeah, I name this and feel like this is it. I'm going to launch, finally. But I'm saying to myself, I don't know what resources I can tap into, I don't know what kind of companies I can approach, because I don't see myself going to JMA, which is the only place I know, with 10 bottles of something in a box. So, do you have any recommendations as to what kind of resources small producers can tap into? Also, as it relates to importing items for production on a very, very small scale, do you have any advice in those two arenas?
Truthfully, I've not spent any time in manufacturing, and I think people in that industry would be, I think, maybe better prepared to kind of guide you as to who you can call. I know going through, my experience in food and beverage and restaurant and nightclub and stuff like that, I was going from construction, kind of different, you know what I mean? So it was really like, all right, Ribby and Gypsy been doing it for 20 years, it's the first place I'm going, you know what I mean? So call him and say, look, this is what I want to do, so I want to do it. What do you think? No, that can't work, why don't call, and so on, so why don't go here, go there. Manufacturing, I think JMA would probably be the obvious resource that I would go to first and foremost. But JMA, don't look at JMA as a person. I think you find somebody in JMA that knows manufacturing and knows all the different things and friend that person. Yes. And that person now can be a great resource for you.
It seems that there is a recipe to our success. Based on your perspective and experience, have you seen that?
I didn't catch the last part.
Recipe for success. Is based on your experience, have you seen that?
I mean, no. Honestly, I don't think that, as I said before, I don't think there is any kind of silver bullet answer that I can say that, other than be prepared. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is going to be rough, okay? And you're going to take licks. And the ones that are going to, you know what happened? When I was going through my dark days, I reached out to one of these people that operates the financial institutions that take companies public and invest a lot in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and all these different things. I reached out to him and I was like, I'm in this situation, can you give me some advice? He sat there and chatted with me for about half an hour before he kicked me out of his office. And that was kind of the only real encounter I had with this person. And I think I was telling somebody just before we started that I got a call from that guy. I know this is a big guys in business in Jamaica. And I see his number come up on my phone yesterday. I'm driving, not yesterday, it was Friday. And see his number come up on my phone. So I grab it quick. What is he calling me for? I've spoken to him in a long time. It's not somebody, it's not a friend. It's a big top guy in business. And he's just calling me to say congratulations because he heard about London. He knows what's going on now and he's super happy to see it. So immediately it threw me back to when I went and spoke to him a few years ago and was like, boss, what do I do? Help, And I said to him, I reminded him, I said, boy, you remember when I came to you and I was down and out? And he said, yeah man, you have paid your dues. He said, that's why I call it here. He says, because I know what you've been through. He says, but don't make any mistake here. He said, every single person you will see out there that is in business, that has been in business for any period of time and has enjoyed any amount of success, they have been down too. Guaranteed. None get excused from that. There's no exception to that rule. You are going to go through hell and back. I have to be able to endure that. And the ones that do endure that is what I find is the ones that are going to be able to sustain it.
All right, so yes, let me give you my mic.
Hi everyone, I'm Deandra. I heard you make mention of losing 12 million, then 24, then 60. Is there any way between that you could say, okay, this is where I need to pull the plug? Is there like any factor or anything that you can look out for to say, hey, maybe this is not working before you get to the point of being flatlined?
Yeah. That's a great question, and I don't think there's no point. I mean, if the truth of the matter is, I should have probably pulled the plug, but I didn't. And I think the point at which you need to pull the plug is when you start to lose confidence that it can.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you for giving me the last question. I'm practicing my Canadian accent. We're sort of engaging in a business venture down here, trying to get projects started. And one of the challenges that we found is with the pace of the project, sometimes things haven't kept pace with that. Like legally, for example, trying to get our I's dotted and our T's crossed. We find that things are moving faster than, say, the lawyers are able to keep up or provide us contracts or things like that. How do you manage those types of challenges?
Yeah, so that is and you'll be surprised, it's way better now than it used to be 10 years ago. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, exactly what you're talking about is, to me, one of the biggest issues. That and the access to capital are the two biggest issues. Having somebody in-house, I definitely have never had anybody in-house, but it really kind of, I guess, depends on what it is you're doing specifically. I know in like telecommunications, there are the whatever commission that manages those people, the broadcast. There's always going to be a host of different things that you're going to have to navigate, and I think that there's no way around the process. So I'm not going to tell you paying off a man is going to help you make it move very faster, because at the end of the day, I don't condone any of that, and I think that has kind of been part of the problem why it's been the way it's been for so long, because I think that there was underground industry that has developed over the years because of how we did things as a third world country, and you see it in so many different things in Jamaica, and it really does kind of hinders any form of progress or growth. But they're making tremendous strides in that area now, but it's nowhere near perfect. What my advice is to push hard. You have to push hard and continue. Don't take what somebody says and just hug it up. I mean, it's not like in Canada, where I think in Canada the process is pretty well defined. You know exactly what you need to do to get this permit, or you know what you need to do to get this license. Here it may be still a little bit arbitrary. There are people that do it, and that you need to engage to get it done for you. But unfortunately, it's still going to take some tugging and pulling and pushing. Yeah, and there's really any way around that.
Confidence as opposed to fear before you actually decide to.
If the fear wasn't there, the fear has to be there. You're gonna be concerned. I mean, I'm concerned about a ton of things, and things are going so well right now. But there are a lot of concerns, and I think that the point about fear and the point about confidence is really going to be, it's a situation by situation basis, because you need to know in yourself if it's absolutely not feasible, it's just absolutely not going to work. I got very, very close to that point, but again, what kept me in it and why I did not pull the plug when I probably should have. I mean, everything on paper, what I've said, you need to pull the plug. And big respectable business people coming to me and be like, Brethren, you're young, you can go get a good job, you don't need to do this. Just cut and run it. What are you doing? You're wasting the best years of your life. But what kept me through that was just this undying feeling that I wanted to do what I was doing. And if it was going down, I'd go down with it. because I believe it can work. And I think had I not had that, or had I lost that, club for a long time.
You know, I'm speaking it into nature. This year started, and it's what we did last year. We said a weekend, so this year we're saying a cruise. And then probably for next year we say, okay, Australia, Antarctica, let's go. Yeah, so great things. It has been an amazing weekend. Wouldn't you guys agree? Yeah. All of the days have been so filling. We've been inspired, we've been charged. Some people probably had the teary-eyed moments and the moments of fear. Yes, a lot of mercy. You know, all the anxiety and everything now to go ahead and manifest and put into practice now what you have learned. And now the responsibility falls into your lap to action those things that have been imparted on you. We're going to be having some coffee right now, right? But please take the opportunity to network.
Because we truly, truly appreciate what you've done for us for this initiative, and we look forward to growing from strength to strength with you every step of the way. And thanks again to all of you for coming out, all of our sponsors. Debbie, you, yes. Your crew is with her, Donovan, the vision behind my vision and everything. I mean, I talk to you every single day. You going to talk to her? Thank you so much for the support. My entire team, our sponsors, Affinity. Guys, before you leave, we're asking you to step to the back. Fill out the survey. It helps us a lot in improving for next year. We want to know what you don't like. We want to know what you do like. We can use this to improve and make it a much better staging for the cruise. Custom House Printery. I'd like to mention this gentleman here. Stand for me. And I'm doing this specially because he reached out to me, found me on Instagram, was very interested in red tie and stilettos. He told me, I'm going to sponsor you 200 pop sockets for the phones. And I said, 200 pop sockets? He said, yes. And I said, what's going to be on them? And he says, Zedoj Red Tie Stilettos. And I said, well, what about custom house? And he says, no. And I said, yes. 100 custom house and 100 red tie stilettos, because I want to boost you for your persistence. It's a new business. And he booked to stay here for 3 nights with us. And a couple days before, he says, Jody, I have to cancel because I have to fly to Florida to pick up the pop sockets. And before going, he realized they didn't make it to Florida. So you'll have some key rings in your bags. That's from from Custom House Printery. He managed to get those here. But I promise all of you that you will get your pop sockets as soon as they get here. All right? So by filling out with Affinity, we have your details and we'll get those pop sockets to you. Thank you so much.
So it's all about the bosses of this week, and right now I'm standing with Alwyn Brownspeed from StarrzRUs. Alwyn, how was your RTS weekend?
Well, it was great. It was an inspiring experience. It was filling, and I mean, I got to hear stories from entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, and it was really some soul food for me.
So last night you gave your speech at the symposium. How was that for you?
Well, it was good because it's actually my first platform in giving an idea of what my experience was, my story was, my come up basically. So it was refreshing. It was refreshing.
If you could use one word to sum up RTS Weekend 2018, what would that word be?
Fabulous. Yeah. It was fabulous. I mean, the whole vibe, the whole experience, you know, it was just fabulous.
There you have it. Alwyn Brownspeed, StarrzRUs boss. Big up yourself, bro.
All right, thanks.
Alright, so it's the final leg of Red Tie and Stilettos, and it's all about coffee and CEOs. I'm standing with the beautiful Debbie Bissoon. Debbie, what's up?
I am just feeling so amazing right now. We did 3 whole days of information, of inspiration, of creative ideas, of discussions that will no doubt help us to take our businesses, whatever it is, from where it is now to where we want it to get to. Level up, yeah.
Debbie, I know we just exhausted the whole fact of entrepreneurship and so on, but for those who still didn't get a chance to ask the questions, maybe they're shy, what steps do one take to become a good leader?
Yeah, well, Gary did say it. He said that as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to be honest with yourself because some persons are not cut out for entrepreneurship. And it can't be a case where you're seeing persons' businesses doing well and you're thinking, oh, but I could do that, because the fact is that the journey of entrepreneurship, as he did say, is a very rough one. And it brings out parts of you that you did not know existed. And for some persons, they go and run and hide, and some persons move towards it. You have to be able to make a decision at the end of the day. Okay, does this work for me? Am I really and truly following and pursuing my passion? Because if it's a case where you're not following something that you're passionate about, when those rough times come, you will run away from it. So you want to make sure that you're here for the right reasons and you're doing the thing that you will push you when it is that the business is not doing so well, that you'll have that kind of persistence and consistency to get to where you want to go.
Debbie, one word to sum up this weekend.
This weekend has been fulfilling in every sense of the word. From the first day that we started here down by the beach party, it was not just a little old beach party. We were being inspired from the bonfire, and then we had the symposium, and they had Tyrone Wilson there charging us, along with the other boss babes and the boss men, giving their stories in a real practical and relatable way that we can also use those experiences to apply back to ourselves. And then this morning to have Gary Matalan here with us, sharing with us. It is the icing, as Jody said, on the cake for the entire weekend. I'm looking forward to going to the high seas next year.
So they'll be looking forward to see you next year on the cruise.
Yeah, it is a cruise for sure, guys. Not no ferry around the harbor kind of business. We're taking to the high seas, okay? So make sure that you call your friends and family from foreign and tell them that if they want to take the business to the next level, get your tickets early, okay? Stay tuned to the Zedoj Red Tie Stilettos page and stay tuned to the Zedoj's page for all the information. You don't want to miss it at all, yeah.
Mr. Gary Matalan. Gary, what's good?
Hi, everything. It was a great session. Yeah, man. Very happy to be here.
Okay, so you led the session pretty much. Questions were asked to you, but for those who are still a little bit shy and want to venture in the entrepreneurship, what are some of the qualities you would say one has to have to be successful?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned when we were talking, I think that it's going to be very important that separate and apart from what type of industry you're going in and whatever expertise you need to be, whatever expertise you need to have to succeed in business, you're going to definitely need to have the right attitude, and you're going to need to have a lot of passion and a lot of persistence, yeah. And I tell everybody, it's never going to be easy. If it's easy, there's something wrong. It's not real, right? So be prepared for the fight, be prepared for the struggle, but you can do it, It's a lot of people before us have done it, a lot of people after us will do it. So you need to believe, and you need to work hard, and you can get it done.
Yeah, man, I know you have to jump on a jet for 9 hours to go venture off on your plans, but if you could use one word to sum up this morning's session, what would it be?
This morning session for me is profound, man. It's powerful because it's a room full of people that are exactly like me. There are different stages in their own process. Some people have an idea. Some people have already started. They are already seeing the challenges and the tough times that I talk about. So for me, it's everything. This room was powerful because a lot of people in here really, you can see it in their eyes, they want it to happen, they want to make it happen. Like a lot of people out there that are not in this room. But at the end of the day, these people have taken the initiative to come here to try and learn something. So my hope and prayer is that something I said they will take away from and it will add value to them.
Gary Matalan, thank you so much for taking the time out to be at RTS Weekend 2018. Wish you all the best over here in London.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
She's no stranger to OurWe TV. She is mom, boss lady, wife, fashionista, entrepreneur. I could go on and on and on. Jody, it has been an amazing weekend. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling elated. I mean, I didn't think I could actually pull off a 3-day event, a weekend of events for Red Tie and Stilettos this year, but with the support that I had from my backbone, my strength, Donovan Watkins, we were able to pull this off. And our final event this morning, the Coffee and CEO session with Gary, was a huge success.
I didn't think I get to actually ask you this question, but how did this Red Tie and Stilettos started?
It started just because someone said to me at the age of 32 I'd be a very successful businesswoman. That was last year, and when I got to 32 I was like, is this success? I don't know. I mean, I have quite a few businesses that I operate. I am comfortable, I am happy, but I don't know if I feel entirely successful. And I thought, I really need to have people go on the path and the journey that I decided to take, and I created the Red Tie and Stilettos initiative. Woman walks strong in red heels, the man moves proudly in his red tie, and it just shows strength, boldness and power, hence the entrepreneurship and growth initiative.
Jody, what can we expect from you next year?
Next year, it has been rumored that we will be going on a cruise. They're trying to speak it into being, so let's see, we may just work on the RTS Cruise 2019.
One word to sum up RTS Weekend 2018.
Boss. That is all I can say. Everybody came out and acted like true bosses, and the theme of this year was actually boss moves for business, so the bosses did move.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jody and Murdoch, thank you so much for having us at your event this year. We had a good time. We're looking forward to your other events.
Thank you. Or OurWe TV. Watch it, live it, love it, guys.
RTS Weekend 2018 was definitely a hit. Big up to Zedoj and her entire team for putting on this great weekend. So they kicked things off with Friday at the beach party, Saturday night was the symposium, and Sunday morning we closed things off with CEOs and coffee. So yes, definitely, I am sure every entrepreneur or entrepreneur to be will find this weekend, if you attend, to be a great one. If you didn't attend, we'll catch you next year, alright? So on behalf of the entire production team at OurWe TV, big up to Ziggs Media, it's all about lifestyle. RTS Weekend, I'm your boy Starz. Just remember to watch it, live it, love it.